afternoon, everybody. I'm standing down here with Roger
Wagner.
Okay, and we're standing in front of a building here. I'm going to turn the video around. It's his mother's, let's see here. It's where his mother grew up in and lived 102 years ago. Roger, if you want to, tell me a little bit about your mom.
Well, my mother was the daughter of a Norwegian immigrant. Her mother immigrated, and her father was also an immigrant from Norway. But they moved into Portland here in 1914. Mother was 4 years old when they moved into the auditorium.
4 years old.
4 years old when she moved into the Auditorium Hotel, and she slid down the banister of the courthouse. It was also built in 1914.
That's the county courthouse?
County courthouse was built in 1914. And so she slid down that banister when that courthouse was built in 1914. And 80 years later, after she chased the judge out of the courthouse, she slid the banister again at 84 years old.
At 84 years old, she slid.
So that's who my mother was. I was so fortunate to have had the parents that I had. Father, during World War II, he retired as the deputy chief of the Portland Fire Department. During World War II, he was the civil defense director for Southeast Portland. I'm told that my father, that he and Mayor Terry Shrunk worked on the first aid car in the late 30s and took me home from the hospital when I was born. So I've had a long history of being connected with the city of Portland.
Portland, yes. And you was also in the military?
I was in the 101st Airborne Division Honor Guard Company, Troop B, 17th Cav. General William Westmoreland was the commanding general, and then we had an honor guard company. We would pull honor guard commitments anytime that the general had visitors, and we would go around to the small towns of Paducah, Kentucky, Cairo, Illinois, in our formation, and put on demonstrations with our chrome pots and all that.
Wow.
So that was what I came from. I was so fortunate to have had the parents that I had and had the education opportunity. And then I went through college and law school as a Portland City fireman. And then after I finished law school, a few years after that, I quit the fire department and went into the district attorney's office.
What year was that?
That was in 1973.
1973. That was the year after I was born. You became a prosecuting attorney.
Because I did a lot of work getting Hal Haas elected district attorney, he was going to run for governor, and I would be in line for the district attorney's job. So he put me in as head of the consumer fraud department. So I ran the consumer fraud department in the Malheur County district attorney's office in 1975 and 1976.
Wow. And you prosecuted people and found cases where people were,
I was a prosecutor. And then I went into private practice, and after being in about 10 or 12 years, I met this woman, Jeanette Kent, who had inherited what's today is a $100 million estate. And I was on inactive status when I met her, and so we had to get another attorney to try the case, Attorney Gary McMurray. We won the case, but because of the size of the case, all of a sudden McMurray turned on me, and then I had several other attorneys turn on me.
Yeah.
One after another, because Brown was an attorney. He had stolen $100 billion of Mound property, and their insurance company is liable because all of these attorneys are involved in stealing this estate. So you've
been seeing this corruption for a long time happening here.
Absolutely, but attacking me when I would try to speak in the court. Now I've been arrested I've been arrested 23 times in the last 28 years.
Roger here, he's a former prosecuting attorney, and he's been arrested now since then for trying to stop some of this corruption that he has seen since he left office. 23 times he's been arrested here in Portland. And you're 78 years old now?
Yes. Well, not only in Portland, But in Battleground, Washington, I was arrested in the sheriff's office when I went in to try to speak to him. In the courthouses, in the different courthouses around the area.
Yes.
All of a sudden, when I come into the crowd, there would be a formation of deputies. And,
wow.
And try to go in that courtroom. Now, why get one more word out of you? I'll have you taken out of here, attacking me, a former prosecutor, for trying to stop innocent people from having their children, their property, and their freedom stripped from them in these sham Star Chamber type proceedings.
Wow.
I had, over 25 years ago, after I'd been in this a short while, I had Arno Denicky, the former chief judge of the Oregon Supreme Court, came up to my place. I thought my problems were over. He said he was too old to get involved.
Wow.
Harlow Lennon, who I had as an instructor when I went to law school, I revered him. A highly respected judge of the Multnomah County Circuit Court. He said he saw it coming in the early 70s. He said he couldn't wait to get out of the system.
Yeah.
Other judges, Tony Casciato, a friend of mine, said, "Oh, you're going to fight him, huh?" Another one, Chuck Panassa, said, "Oh, this ought to be interesting."
Yes.
I said, "People," I was stunned. I said, "People, listen to me, listen to me. I am an authority. The courthouse, its primary function is to store public records. If you're injured, it's a fact, but it's not a legal fact until it's typed up, date-stamped, and filed with the clerk of the court. You don't have to be an attorney to do that, but you have to know how to do it, or because if there's anything, the slightest thing not in compliance, they won't file it."
Yeah.
So people, it's your ignorance that allows you to be victimized by this corrupt judicial system.
Yeah. Have you been following the Bundy case quite a bit, or seeing? Yeah. What do you think of that so far? What you've been hearing and seeing in court? I've been seeing you down here almost every day.
Well, I'm totally sympathetic with the Bundys. It's not because I've been subjected to the same kind of treatment, being attacked violently, even in the courtrooms, for trying to speak about the truth. Now, all that the Bundys have been trying to do is tell the truth.
Yes.
And protect their property rights. I said, people, the federal government, when it was set up, its exclusive jurisdiction was limited to the District of Columbia. The federal government is a corporate entity. It is not a sovereign entity. The 10th Amendment to the Constitution says all powers that are not specifically granted to the federal government or denied to the states are reserved to the states and to the people. They were extremely suspicious about central governments and standing armies, and that's what since the assassination of Abraham Lincoln. Lincoln, after the Civil War, wanted to bring the South back in as sovereign states. The international bankers didn't want that. He was assassinated, and they brought in Johnson. And in the 1870s, they created the Reconstruction Act of 1870.
Yes.
All the states, the southern states, were just corporate entities.
This last week here,
military districts. They were all military. The South was all.
Yes. Oh, that's okay. Yeah, I've been seeing you in court with the Bundy stuff all summer long, and you've been getting into court just fine. And the U.S. Marshals know you real well. Homeland Security knows you real well. I understand this last week they actually would not give you entrance into the court.
Well, they asked for my identification, and I'm 78 years old. I don't drive anymore.
Yes.
And so I handed him my identification, and he looked at it and he says, "Well, this is expired." I said, "But I don't drive, but that's me."
Yeah, it was definitely you.
So, you have to have identification. Now, all of a sudden, there was 5 or 6 of these big marshals, and most of them are in civilian clothes.
Yes.
They don't want you to know that they're marshals, but they give you that look.
And they won't tell you their name either, will they?
No.
They won't tell you their name, like they're afraid of you. Yeah. You're harmless. 78 years old. They would not identify themselves.
No.
And they kicked you out of the courthouse until you went down and got a new ID.
And they marched me out, and they had a group, and so I had to go out, and I'll just show you the one that I have. That's me.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, that's your new one?
No, that's me. That's the
that's the old one.
Yeah.
So the old one, I mean, you can tell it's definitely Roger here. I mean, I would accept it, but since it's got a date that they stamped on it, and it's out of date, they wouldn't let him attend any of the court hearings for a couple of days until he went down and renewed it. Now he's got a paper ID, and this is a former prosecuting attorney. This paper ID they accepted until they mail him his hard copy. But now they let him in there with a paper copy. It's totally absurd how they're treating different ones down here. Have you seen how Judge Anna Brown is treating the court procedures?
Well, I haven't been able to make them all. But,
yes.
But see, they're all protecting one another.
They definitely are.
And it's that. As I tell people, listen to me, people, listen to me. The courthouse is a place to store public records. All of the judges that work there, they are public magistrates. And what they have not done, none of them have taken the oath of office. They're not conducting constitutional courts. They're conducting administrative courts. And what's the difference? In a constitutional court, the parties are equal and the judges are neutral. In an administrative court, the judge is a god and the parties are subject.
And we've definitely been seeing that all along. She's been biased towards the defense team. She hasn't been allowing them to do things that they need to properly defend themselves.
So she's biased against the defense.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Well, and because, and this is what is so frustrating to me, I said, when I went into Judge Hogan's courtroom several years ago, he's also a federal judge like Anna Brown. I had a large crowd of people there with me, and when he came in, I said what I just said to you. I said, I'm here by special appearance, Judge Hogan, until informed I'm proceeding in a court of constitutional due process. He just said, proceed. And so I did. I talked just like I'm now talking now about innocent people in this state having their children, their properties stolen, and what the details were of that case. And he just sat there and didn't say anything. And when I got through, I started to speak to him conversationally. He was saying, well, I'm going to be filing this. And the federal judge threw up his hands, Kung Fu style, to keep me from speaking to him.
Wow.
So that, people, I said, people, a society of sheep begets a government of wolves. I said, you cannot tolerate public employees arresting innocent people for trying to make a public record about having their children and their property stolen. It is outrageous what's going on. So that's, and to get the people to support that mother of mine, thank God for her,
yes.
My mother, I was born here, and then slid the banister, and then in court, when she would, when the judges would come in and with the guards and all of this, and I'd look around and all the men's eyes were big and round, and my mother was standing there with her fist clenched, looking. She said, "You're going to, when they threatened to arrest me, you're going to arrest me too?" She said, "No, I'm not going to arrest you."
I was 84 years old. She went to court with you, protecting you.
Yes. I said, I've got two sons, 6'2", 200. I can't get them anywhere near the courthouse. I said, I wouldn't trade that little 4'10", 85-pound, 85-year-old two-fisted outfit for an army. I mean, what else I've seen? Because when they'd see my mother, I'd see all the guards, they'd start doing this, saying, where's French? And so I was so fortunate to have her, and my father during World War II he retired as the deputy chief of the Portland Fire Department. During World War II, he was the civil defense director for Southeast Portland. He and Terry Shrunk, who was later the mayor, they were the first aid car in the late 30s. Took me to the hospital, so I've been very close to the center of political activity.
That's amazing.
Who my father was, I used to get treated royally.
Yes.
Wherever I went. When I went into the fire department, we had to be sworn in.
Yes.
And we were sworn in by Commissioner Stanley Earl. And he said, is your father Leo Widener? I said, yes. He says, you have got a big pair of boots to fill. That was my
Yes.
So I was so fortunate to have had. But Father said, he said, leave it better than you found it, son.
I love that saying. You've said that several times.
Yes.
And I really appreciate this, Roger. Thanks a lot for this little interview.
Yes.
It's been amazing. I've really enjoyed meeting Roger. And we're standing out here in front of his mother's place. She was here 102 years ago is when she settled in this place. And it's a pretty neat old brick building, downtown Portland, Oregon. And it's right across the block here from the federal court building. And Roger has been coming down here almost every day the last couple of weeks and seeing us here in court, talking to us on the street. And it's been a pleasure of mine to get to meet him. And well, thank you all for listening in, and I'll sign out for now, and hopefully we'll have some more information for you a little later on the day. Thank you.